Good morning, everyone. Kate Borer and Fiona Pearman joining you for this week's Facebook Live, where we're digging in to our relationship with fear and failure. And Fee, we talk about this nearly every week, every day with clients. Our ability to really dig into what's going on for us. And there's lots of layers here that I think can be really powerful for us when we develop a little bit of self-awareness, shine a bit of light on some of our default behaviors, assumptions, and beliefs that allow us to step into a little bit of freedom, particularly about where we see fear and failure as a signal to stop, or a no-go signal, and what happens when we can actually start to transform our relationship here.
I think, fear actually offers us a really big opportunity. And one of the pieces we often support people with is starting to understand what are the expectations that are going on around me and what am I thinking about and what am I expecting? Because that's often what leads us to being so worried about failure. We think we have to get it right. We think we need to do things perfectly. We think, it's terrible if we don't win at something. We think, other people are going to judge us or think of us badly. And so we have all these expectations that are sitting below the surface, and they're often unhelpful because they're meaning that we've made a lot of stories up. We've decided that something is going to be really terrible when really it's not actually that bad.
Yeah, I think we often see this with women applying for roles. And, the story they tell themselves, we tell ourselves, is I'm not ready yet. I need more skill, capability, experience, relationship, time in this role. I need to be able to tick every box perfectly in the role description, and whether that's applying externally or internally for promotion opportunity. And I think, again, the expectation that you're setting for yourself is that you can do it all perfectly. You won't fail. You'll be a great hire. And the reality is, I always say this to clients, you should probably be an 80% fit, right? Like if you can do it perfectly on day one or at the end of week 6, then you're going to be bored at 6 months, and then you're going to be out of the role in 12 months, right? People want longevity in role. And so being able to recognize the learning opportunities, the growth opportunities, stepping into interviews with that expectation of yourself, particularly if there is an aspect to a role, for example, where you don't have, the 100% that you would potentially like to have, being, yep, I've got some growth opportunity there, some development opportunity. I've got some good mentors around me who can support me. You're demonstrating willingness to learn. And I think that is an asset for you in the interview process as well, because we want people who are going to grow into roles as a general rule. And we say always to women who are applying for roles, for every role you think you can do, apply for one that you don't think you can do. 2 things happen when we take that, or we take that approach. Number one, our expectations change, right? We expect not to get interviews for roles that we've applied for. We expect to get rejected. And because that expectation has changed, we're like, oh, that's okay. I expected that. It doesn't feel so painful. But secondly, we actually start getting interviews for roles we didn't think we could do.
I love this approach, and it's been so powerful for so many women we've worked with. And, the opportunity here is so huge, because as we start to do something differently and we have the experience of not feeling terrible when we get rejected or when someone says no or when that happens, we didn't expect it to work out. So we've now started to redefine and recalibrate our relationship with fear and failure, which is one of our big messages through the book and through our work. Is there is definitely, if we're actually doing things at the level that would serve us, if we're actually contributing, we are not going to get everything perfect. Things are going to go wrong and we are going to fail. And the more comfortable we can get, the more used to failure as a teacher, as an opportunity, as a lesson, rather than being something that's terrible and to be avoided, the more likely we are to approach it with a more, a less fearful approach. We're more likely to see it as, oh, now I know something more. Now I've got that piece of feedback. Now I've got that intel. I can choose to do something differently next time. And that's really, fear is this great teacher that we've made almost into a bogeyman that it doesn't need to be. And the more we're willing to start to see it as something where I'm learning rather than it's a terrible thing about me, we really change that dynamic and we give ourselves so many more opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Life-changing for us, but so life-changing for many of our clients who have been through our Acts of Confidence program. Listen, we're going to wrap there. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, please share feedback below, tag any colleagues, friends who you think would benefit from our confidence conversations. Of course, head over to our Facebook page. If you like that, you'll be notified when we do go live, and lots of other great videos for you to dig into there. And if you're ready to go deeper with your relationship with core confidence, visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.